American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez is the brand new FX and Hulu show that just wrapped up yesterday. This show is about true life story of NFL star Aaron Hernandez, who in this show is played by Josh Rivera. We go through his entire life. Again, this show is based on a true story, and we go through his entire life from his childhood to his college days to him becoming an NFL player, but also following both his real life behind the scenes gay life that he has for himself, his crime life that he has for his club life, and how he mixes between being an NFL player while also at times murdering people, going through his court cases and all of that stuff. This show is obviously an American sports story, so it is produced by Ryan Murphy. The episodes, there are 10 episodes in this season. The longest episode is 51 minutes, with the shortest episode being 39 minutes, and it is TV matured. My name is Max Sinderberg. Welcome back to a brand new TV show review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sinderberg. Today we're talking about American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring the bell if you're new to the channel. I do movie and TV show reviews, out-of-theater reactions, movie franchise rankings, and a box office breakdown show every Tuesday. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell. Get us closer to 300 subscribers. Comment down below. First of all, if you've seen the show, tell me, did you like it? Did you not like it? If you have not, tell me, did you know the show was out? Are you familiar with the situation? Or was this your first time learning about the situation? Please comment down below your thoughts. I respond to all comments. Also, please like the video. So as you can tell, I am wearing an NFL jersey. And I have followed this case really since I was just above the age of 10. I knew what was going on with Aaron Hernandez. This is all very recent. Usually with these true story biopic-like shows or movies, they're very much in either, the 80s, the 90s, even earlier than that. So to watch something that happened in my lifetime that I followed, even as a teen into adult, I've been following the trials and also the documentary that came out 4 years ago on Netflix. So I thought to myself, I knew all about this. So I was kind of nervous about getting into this recreation of the events with actual actors and Ryan Murphy's name behind it. So that was my thought. So I knew a lot of the things that happened on the show, but I just wanted to see how it would happen. So overall, I'm going to say this. I had a much better time with the show than I was expecting. I had a very low bar for the show because not just did I know the majority of the events that were going to be shown, but I get nervous about because it's so recent. And I am someone who follows the NFL on a daily basis, that a lot of the people that are being portrayed are people that I see every day on TV and know how they talk and look. So I was nervous about would it feel more like SNL or an actual real, an authentic take. And for the most part, I found myself really enjoying this 10 episode series. And I think from a writing level, the show is based off of a Boston Globe podcast, well, among other things. It was the showrunner is Stuart Zickerman. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right. The show does a really good job. Something that obviously you can never know when you're watching a trial or you're even recollecting events from documentaries. When you're actually watching the person do stuff, it is actually more mind-boggling of what Aaron Hernandez did in the mid-2000s, both as a college player and as an NFL player, how one day he would wake up, he would train, he would go play a game, he would come home, he might go to the club until 3 a.m., he might even kill someone, and then he would wake up and do the same day over again. It is really mind-boggling to watch, and that's why the show, I think, is really good, in my opinion, is you in some way understand and can see the day in the life of a football murderer in Aaron Hernandez. And the show definitely does a good job of giving you a lot of factors on the why. The show doesn't give a definitive reason. It does not tell you not to hate this person. It doesn't tell you to root for this person. It kind of just says, make up your opinion for Aaron Hernandez either before or as you're watching. Again, I've already made up my opinion on Aaron Hernandez. I don't really have sympathy for someone who's killing people, no matter if CTE was a factor. There's so many people's lives that were ruined, and to have empathy for someone who did that, I don't. So when the show was trying to give reasons, I wasn't fully on board with them trying to give sometimes excuses for the things Hernandez did. But as I said, as someone who watches football every week, you really know if you're not an athlete, you don't understand the ins and outs of being an athlete. And not just is Aaron Hernandez an athlete, but he was basically doing two separate lives going on throughout his life. And the show does a really good job putting you in his shoes or having a viewpoint of what he's doing. Now, what really makes the show really strong is an excellent lead performance from Josh Rivera, who obviously is known for being Rachel Zegler's boyfriend in real life, and he obviously acted in both West Side Story, the new one, as well as the last Hunger Games movie. And I wasn't like super impressed by him as an actor, so I was kind of nervous that he was getting this big role, but he's fantastic in the show. He embodies someone who has that violence in him, but also compassion and care and vulnerability. He feels like a real person. Now, obviously, he is a real person, but you want the actor to play him to feel like that. And not for 1 second was Josh Rivera's performance ever take me out of the show. He's completely, you buy him both as an NFL player, as a kid, as an NFL player, as an adult, as a man throughout his entire life. And Josh Rivera does a really good job in the leading role. Another really underrated performance that I hope doesn't go under the radar is Jalen Barron as Shayana Jenkins, who plays Aaron's girlfriend, who they have a kid with during in real life. And Barron is also really excellent in the movie as she is blindsided by the realization that this could have been going on throughout their relationship and how she really becomes a ride or die girlfriend to him. And the show does a really good job putting you again in her shoes. What if you're living with someone or you're friends with someone who you think you're cool with? You think that's, yeah, they're kind of weird, but then this happens. Like, how does your life flip? And Barron, also Tammy Blanchard does a really good job as Terry Hernandez, who plays Aaron's mother in the show. She's also very strong in the show as well. Most of the leading performances, I think, on the show are very well done. The actual football scenes are shot very cool. They didn't really pull me out of the show like there were unrealistic things going on, so I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the deep dive into everything. They dive into his religion, his closed, being a closed gay man, being an athlete, wanting a life beyond football, drugs, clubbing, all these things leading into murders. The show has to tackle a lot of things. I do think that they tackle a majority of them very strong. Now, on a negative level, there are times with this show that it does turn into a cartoon or an SNL sketch. There are some performances like Bill Belichick or Rob Gronkowski, for example, that pull me out of the show. And as someone, again, who follows the NFL, there are some performances that don't feel authentic or real. And some of the true life people of the actual NFL players or college players did not work for me. There's also now, obviously, this show is not saying that all these events are real. Obviously, it's based on a podcast, and a lot of these things are obviously alleged. He was found guilty first and then he was not guilty for another murder. So again, they're implicating a lot of things. There are too many times in the show where things have to happen for a story to be interesting, and it just feels forced. Some events do kind of feel forced together. And if all these things were happening at the same time, you probably would have been caught a lot sooner. But because the show has to have its drama to it and its effect, sometimes events feel a little bit forced together. While they could be two completely separate issues, the show has to compile them together to make you feel like they're all happening at the same time. So there are times where I do think the show takes too many liberties with trying to squish a lot of major things together while they probably weren't that close together. So obviously those are some of my and I think the finale as a whole, I did not love because I thought the finale gave to a lot more excuses for Hernandez more than actually telling a story of people who he killed. I think there were times where there was a really interesting dynamic because the person that one of the people he kills is his sister's boyfriend. Is his girlfriend's sister's boyfriend. And there's a really good dynamic with Aaron Hernandez's girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister and how that has rifted their family, but it's touched on for like 5 minutes and not touched on for more than one episode. So I wish that part and the side of the victims was more of a story here in this show. But overall, I had a good time with Aaron Hernandez with this show. This was a much better show than I was expecting. This isn't great television. This is not going to be one of the best shows of the year. This probably won't be a factor in Emmy season, but as a football fan, I find myself getting some enjoyment in watching this story told in this way. So overall, I'm going to give American Sports Story Aaron Hernandez a 3.5 out of 5, a 72%. What are your thoughts on the show? Let me know in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.